Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's that time of the week again where we're going to work on the craft room. First thing we were trying to figure out is how we're going to utilize the closet. Now my plan always was to put the glassware that I was storing in the old dining room on one of the shelves because I wanted to see it out and on display and open so that I can decide how to use it. But then what are we going to do with the rest of the space? Um, After trying to figure out which totes fit where and because those shelves are custom made by us and they were custom made to match existing boxes that I had. They weren't really made to hold these totes, but it works out that we can get them on almost every shelf except for one. Um, Actually, one being the original shelf we just left there and built the other shelves around. So, turned out okay. What we're going to end up doing is putting the seasonal decor, like holiday decor. What I mean by that is holiday DIY stuff. The Christmas supplies and the autumn supplies and the Halloween supplies. Those are all going to go in this closet. We do end up taking autumn and spring out because those aren't really like holidays, those are seasons. And we switched it from seasonal decor to holiday decor. DIY items, not really decor. So Jim's just trying to figure out the best placement of the holidays. So we're trying to do like calendar year from the top to the bottom, starting with Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and so on and so forth. But he is just trying to like measure, are we going to have enough room for the glassware that we did want to store in there after all? Is it going to be too short? Because some of the pieces from the Dollar Tree, as you know, are very tall. We have a lot of those tall vases from the Dollar Tree. So he's just trying to figure out all the things. Now, what we had up there was a light. It used to be as seen on TV thing, where it was actually like a light with a chain that you pulled that was mounted inside closets and stuff. So that was what he's taking off right now is the plastic holder that holds that light fixture. It is also screw mount, so we can move it into a different location if we want to. But we no longer need light in here because we decided to keep the doors off. Because we're not using this room as a guest room at all anymore, there's no reason to hide storage. I don't really have to hide it from anybody. The whole point of doing the whole new setup that we're doing is that I can see everything that I have. Now, I can't see into the boxes, but the boxes will all be labeled so that at least I can see the boxes and I can see what kind of things, Oh, I have a box, a tote of box art. Okay, I know it is what I'm looking for. I have a tote of trays. Okay, I know where that is that I'm looking for. Okay? So after a little bit of finagling back and forth and planning, because men have to plan, trying to figure out what's going to go where. And just so you know, I am on the iPad. Jim has his iPad set up. That's why he keeps looking over to his left when he's facing the camera. He has the iPad set up so I can be there virtually to talk him through kind of my plans of what I would like. Now, I am very blessed to have my husband be such a great partner in helping me out when I can't mobilize myself right now. But you'll see next week, I'm actually going to get my booty in that office and we're going to get some more um, organizing and straightening up doing, and I will explain everything that we've done and some of the things we plan to do. So now in this corner, we moved the fabric dresser. Now the fabric dresser doesn't have his drawers in it because obviously it's always easier to move furniture with the drawers out, especially when the drawers still have stuff in them. But I was trying to figure out, like, did I want it to go flat under the fish or do I want it to go flat on the window wall? And it turns out, and it's going to end up being better on the window wall. Um, the other thing we have is from the Dollar Tree, we have those felt pads, those little like felt feet that we want to put under all of our furniture so that we don't wreck our new floors is the one reason. But the second reason is it'll help us rearrange furniture. If you put the felt pads under, you have less resistance on your furniture. And if you want to rearrange from time to time, it just makes it that much easier. So Jim is getting the felt pads. He's going to lay the dresser down on its side and he's going to go ahead and put the feet on for us. Now that we're working on the other side of the room, he has moved me into the closet, just checking that he has the right size feet and everything. And I said, whatever works for me, works for you. So now he's trying to feel like, how do I want to do this? We also put feet, those foamy feet, underneath the two pieces of furniture from IKEA as well. We did not put them under the bookcases. You'll see that coming up in a little bit because those bookcases don't actually have feet. They just have like walls. Um, that's not solid underneath. That's kind of like a trim. The bottom shelf basically floats a few inches above the floor. So there's not really any good place to put feet. However, they're also not very heavy. So it's not something that we'll have to probably worry about moving around with feet, if that makes any sense. But for this, he's just making sure he's got the appropriate size feet. This dresser actually has silver knob feet on it already, like silver um, buttons, almost look like giant tacks. That's what's on there already. So he's just attaching one to each foot. And you want to make sure that your adhesive is good, and you want to make sure that you've cleaned off the foot and everything so it holds really, really well. Now, don't forget to do all 4 feet. And then when he stands it up, you're going to see what you guys will see what the how the dresser looked in both positions. And you give me your opinion in the comments down below. Do you think it looks better under the fish wall, or do you think it looks better under the tapestry wall that's actually not going to be there for very long? So you'll see that in the next video. The reason I'm asking for your opinions is I don't know. He had whatever I wanted to do. He just kept saying, "Honey, whatever you want to do, this is your space. I'll do whatever you need me to do. It's your space." It was just really sweet. But sometimes my brain just doesn't know what it wants. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's like that. So um, this is just, I would love your opinion. Um, he is showing me how much space there is if we do it this way as opposed to if we do it that way. And he's also trying to talk about how much room the drawers will come out. Like, will I have space to come out with the drawers? So that's all these things that we're taking into consideration when rearranging it. But you tell me which one you like, and what do you think we should have done? Now, I personally like it this way. I feel like I can access the drawers a little easier, but I also can see it from my seat better. Um, just a little bit more like in sight, like that out of sight, out of mind. Well, this is more like in sight, in mind, if you know what I mean. Now, the next thing we're trying to do is trying to make both of these IKEA pieces even under the windows. And what I mean by that is they're both the same width. One's obviously taller than the other, but the same width, and the windows are the same width. So I'm trying to get it as even visually as possible. I wanted to see if we could move that one. How much would it block the drawers, and do we want it even? And like all of these things, I'm trying to figure out like visually how would be more pleasing. I almost wish I could put the fabric drawer on a kitty corner. I just know that everything and its brother would fall behind there, and I would never be able to get it. So I do have a piece of wood that is a triangular shaped piece of wood that my father made a shelf for me. We may go ahead and do that in the future. We kind of like playing around with it, but we'll see. And that might help with my visualization also. So something to look forward to maybe in the future. Now, take a sip of drink, Jim. Take a break. The next thing we're going to move on to is the wall behind me. First, we have to put the drawers back. Now, this dresser has universal drawers, but some of them don't. Keep that in mind when you're taking your drawers out of your dresser, especially if they're like custom made pieces or specialty pieces. We have one drawer at the top that doesn't fit. The other two are interchangeable. So I made sure that he set them up on the floor the way that they were supposed to go back in the dresser. Basically, he put top to bottom, bottom to top type of thing like that. So, okay. Just a piece of advice from my husband to you. Okay. Now, I don't sew as much as I used to, and that's why there's a lot less fabric than I used to have as well. But I did keep my favorite pieces and things that I always wanted to do, projects I always wanted to do for the future. So there's still a potential for me to have a lot of sewing projects coming up. Okay. Now, when he's done with all of the drawers, then we're going to switch over to the other side, like I mentioned, behind me, which when I say behind me, it is actually the wall where the door is. I am most likely going to be crafting almost always exclusively with my back to the door. Not because I'm like safety conscious. It's just that the good lighting is across from me at the two open windows. And that will help me with photography as well as being able to see the projects that I'm working on. Now, originally on this wall was where the big piece of IKEA furniture was. And in this room, we had two Walmart bookcases on the floors, both sides of the couch, and I had one Walmart bookcase on my desk. So what we decided to do is to put all three Walmart bookcases lined up on this wall. Now, the one thing we did do is when we went to go get a Walmart bookcase for on my desk, I'm sorry. When we went to go buy them, we noticed that they came in different dimensions. They actually came in much narrower. It was about 4 or 5 inches narrower and a few dollars more expensive. So what we did when we first bought them is we swapped the one out in the kitchen. The one that was over by the window wall is a little narrower. I don't know if you've seen it in the last couple of decorate kitchens with me. But I do actually have that project on our channel from way back a couple of years ago. Anyway, what I decided to do was to go ahead and switch the big bookcase back out into the kitchen, take the narrower bookcase back in the room, and set it up with a wide, a narrow, and a wide bookcase. Now, the narrow bookcase is a tiny hair's breadth taller. We may put those foam feet under, or those felt feet under the two other bookcases just to raise it a little bit, but we haven't decided just yet. The next project, considering these bookcases that we're going to come in the final decorating, final organizing videos, is a secret that's coming up. Can't wait to share it with you. Psych. I got you. But what we're doing right now is, again, with Jim, it's got me on the iPad, and we're going over, this is like a secondary organization. As we said, things are going to kind of go where they're probably going to settle eventually. But for right now, it's just major moving things over. It's not even about organizing things or breaking them down or purging or putting them away. Okay? So what I've decided for on these three bookcases is going to be paper crafts on the left. In the middle, also extended paper crafts. And on the right, it's going to be all like the little wood items, like the wooden letters and the wooden tiles and those types of things are going to be on the right. On top of the three bookcases is most likely going to be everything that I had on my desk before. Or most of the things I had on my desk before. If you remember, that bookcase that was on my desk had things that I could grab at quickly. If I can spin around and grab them, that's going to be just as quick, and it will give me more room on the table to work on, which is going to be great. It's going to actually be a very big benefit when all is said and done. Now, what I just have Jim, again, I'm on the iPad over here, out of the way. I'm just having him do that. I'm having him take the things out of the big bookcase, putting them in the little bookcases. And like I said, I have those paper boxes, those black and white check paper boxes. Those are from Hobby Lobby. I got them on 50% off clearance. They were having that. Often do that paper storage for 40 or 50% off. Those sort of paper boxes. They have a name for it. I can't remember the name of the paper box storage, but you guys might know. And I found them there once. You guys have seen that haul, I'm sure. The black and white check boxes are from the Dollar Tree. Those are just those little storage totes. So it's kind of got a very cohesive look. I really like it. I also have the little black bins that have pom-poms on them. Those actually were in the closet previously. So now we're just going to go ahead and put all of that stuff on these three shelves. Now, I am sorry about the stuff being on the table. That's kind of in the way of what you're seeing. But when we go in and do a room tour next week, you guys will be able to see it a little bit better of what it looks like and how I have things. So, just stay tuned for that. Plus, we're not done yet, so there is that. Okay. So, in these big plastic storage bins that I had in the closet, one of them is filled with stickers, and two of them are filled with wooden items. And that's what we're going to end up putting on these shelves to make room, basically, for the storage totes to go in. What are they called? Cubies. The cubies to go in the cubbies. Now, I do apologize because I told you that the iPad is off to the side here, so I didn't actually notice that thing was in the middle of the shot the whole time, so I apologize. But you can see he's kind of doing like, again, more like a secondary like organization. He's trying to like, what's in here? Well, we have some of these things over here. We have some of these like nice things over here. what should we put these, where should we put these, and that, so on and so forth. And right now it's sort of like framed art. For some reason I had framed art here, and I had framed art next to me in the basket on the floor, and I had framed art in a bag, and a framed art in a bin. Like, how many different types of framed art, like where all over did I have it? So it's just he's just trying to gather it all together for me, um, and figure out why certain pieces are where and what can we do to fix them. So as you can see, for right now, he's just trying to like go through. For some reason, I had some framed art, and then I had like cooling racks and cutting boards and those splatter screens, like all these like weird just things that did go together. It was kind of like miscellaneous, and why was it there? Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, that's what he's doing right now, and that's just a good sit down job. You know, he's been working really hard. I'm trying to tell him to take it a little easy on his body. If you could do this sitting down and rolling around the chair, that's what the goal is for when I get into this craft room, is to be able to sit in this chair and roll around. I will hopefully get into it before I actually have to or can walk, but you know, we'll try. We'll do what we can. We'll see what tomorrow brings, and next week, okay? So, oh yes, now that he has emptied all that nonsense out of that pom pom basket, we could fill it up with other stuff that was going to put, paper goods that can go there. I think that one is like rubber stamps and special cutters. And he's just going to continue to do this with the rest of the baskets. Oh, this one has wooden beans in it, so it's going to go on that wooden shelf. Oh, this one has the jars of letters. Okay, that's going to go on the wooden shelf, and so on and so forth. So he's just trying to get it, again, like secondary organized, and trying to help me get my stuff together. I really am really excited about taking you guys on a tour next week of my first time going in here since, gosh, last May. It's going to make me cry. But join me, okay? Just stay along for the travels, stay along for the journey, and I can't wait to bring you along and start this life all over again, or this next stage of life, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't really know. So the last thing I have is this like fresh eggs basket that I made. It has little jars in it that have wooden beads in it. So we're going to go ahead and put them on that wooden shelf eventually. But for right now, just put it on top, honey. Don't worry about what's in there. Just put it on top. But listen, I so appreciate each one of you joining me for each step of this process. And if nobody has told you today that you are loved, remember that I love you, Jim loves you, and we always can come by. You can always come by and hear how much you're loved, okay? All right. Put it down, Jim. Just put it on the shelf. All right. As always, you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.